So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to I've Had It Podcast News, aka IHIP News. This is our YouTube channel where we like to talk about the news that is important to us. And today, Pumps, I want to talk about this whole notion that Republican ideas are good ideas.
Okay.
And I don't just want to talk about it. I want to illustrate exactly how bad they are. So for those of you that are new to our channel, we live in Oklahoma City, which is a deeply red state. And we have a super majority Republican leadership from the governorship to the House to the Senate, all in the state, and have had this super majority since 2011. We've had them running the entire state. And so we'll just show you guys exactly what Republican policies do. I think a lot of these politicians, they're buzzword politicians.
Right.
They take a general public and they use words like transgender, late-term abortions, gay sex. They use these words, and then you have a very religious general public that thinks, oh God, Jesus wouldn't like any of that.
Right.
And they stoke each other up, and a lot of bad ideas end up being enacted into law that absolutely hurt people. They hurt poor people, they hurt women, and they hurt the society at large. So in 2011, that was the last year that we had a Democratic governor named Brad Henry. And he did 2 terms, and we were ranked in education upon his departure of leaving the governorship at 17 in the country. We were ranked in education. Then this gal named Mary Fallon wins, and she serves 2 terms. And then we have Kevin Stitt, who is into his 2nd term. Very, very hardcore right-wingers, and they have had super majorities in which to enact and pass the laws that they choose, both Mary Fallon and Kevin Stitt. So since 2011 to now, education has dropped in the state to number 48. You can even go to other polls and it shows other charts, and it shows the ranking at 50.
It doesn't surprise me at all. They're Christian nationalists trying to turn our schools into churches, and they have done absolutely nothing for public education.
But yet, these are the yahoos that say that they are so concerned about children. They're doing it all for the kids. They bring up kids all the time. It's their default setting to pass any law or to belittle or be bigoted towards any other marginalized group. It's all for the kids. This is what Republican policies in states that have a Republican supermajority, this is what you get. This is what they give to the kids. 17th in education to 48th in some other charts, 50th in public education. I don't know about you, Pumps, but I think that that is not very pro-children.
It is not very pro-children. It is lacks in any concern for children and their futures.
One could even pontificate and wonder here, do they want to keep the general public dumb?
Or is that just a lucky offshoot?
No, I think they want to.
You think they want to keep people dumb?
So
They
continue to have power. Yeah, having an educated, engaged electorate is the Republican Party's worst nightmare. That's why they want to boost the voting age up to 21 right now, because they see that Gen Z is very engaged and very much advocating for themselves and for the planet and for their education. So they're saying, oh, we can't have all of these people voting. This is intentional. The Republican Party intentionally wants to dumb down the general public, because if people wise up, who on earth would vote for this?
Who would think that was a good idea?
2011 was not that long ago.
No, not to take your education system and just throw it in the shitter.
So that's very alarming. That's just one example. In 2011, Oklahoma as a whole overall was ranked number 27 out of all of the states, about average. And that's, a really pretty decent ranking. And this is before the Republican supermajority in the governorship and both houses of Congress in the state. After 2 terms of a hardcore right-wing governor named Mary Fallin and an even further right Christian nationalist named Governor Kevin Stitt, under this Republican supermajority rule, Oklahoma is now ranked 43 overall out of all of the states. So, this is interesting to see that when they get what they want, the people do not thrive.
No, they don't thrive at all.
No. And these lists are not dominated by like a California or Texas. But if we were to look at both of those, California is overall ranked at number 19, and Texas is ranked at number 38. Texas suffers from low marks in healthcare and natural environment, and those are 2 of California's highest ranked categories. But back to Oklahoma, a recent study found Oklahoma is considered the worst state to live in for women, highlighting poor outcomes in nearly every metric, including poverty, voter turnout, and life expectancy. Oklahoma jumped from 47th in 2021 to 51st in 2022, which is last overall. And you have to start drawing parallels. You have Christian nationalists running the country that think that women should submit to their husbands, that women should stay at home. In traditional families, women stay at home. And you look when they get to pass all the laws that they want to pass and they get to do all the Christian nationalist stuff they want to do, women become less safe under Republican rule. And we have a complete abortion ban in the state, and you have these yahoos like Senator Boosterbox and Kevin Stitt that claim that they're these big Bible thumpers. They do not give a rat's ass about human suffering.
Not at all. They have zero empathy.
Absolutely. So just looking at this on a national snapshot, you can look here that this is overall state rankings. And so you see the areas where the lighter color, where you get into green, those are the lowest ranked states. So you see a lot of really deeply red states. And surprise, surprise, this coordinates with the electoral map.
Right.
Where you see states that don't have this hyper-politicized, right-wing, Christian nationalist supermajority, you see states ranking higher. You see it's safer for women. You see higher education. You see citizens that are much happier. It's no surprise the southern states, the former states of the Confederacy, particularly the most conservative of all, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, are at the very bottom of overall state rankings. And it's just this whole idea that low tax, low regulation, and anti-union, that it guarantees growth, has not proven to be true.
No, it's completely killed the economy in a lot of ways, killed education, women's health care. They want to make all the decisions for women because they think of them as second-class citizens.
When I say to friends in this state that are, some people are culturally Republican, almost like they're culturally Christian or culturally Jewish. They can't imagine not being Republican because it's kind of an indoctrinated thing in the state. So when I say, why do you like Republican policy so much? First thing is they don't want to pay taxes. And so when you look at what the low tax, low regulation system does, it produces a very poor state to live in, which in the long term, you have corporations that are not going to want to come to this state. And in the long term, it's going to hurt employment. But that's the thing about a lot of these religious Republicans. They only care about what's immediately in front of them.
Consequences be damned. long-term.
For the planet, for maybe, the neighbor down the road that has a trans child. They don't care. It's, I'm going to go to my super church. I'm going to send my kids to this school. I'm going to pay this little amount of taxes. And I don't give an F what anybody else thinks about it. And it's a huge empathy disparity in what they say they want and how they vote and what these laws do. I mean, it was Kevin Stitt, after he won second term as governor, he says that he dedicated every square inch of the state to Jesus Christ.
I remember that.
Every square inch of the state to Jesus Christ. And then you look at what the state has done under Kevin Stitt's rule, and then you think, okay, number one, if Jesus exists, he hates Kevin Stitt. Okay. Number two, if Jesus doesn't exist, Kevin Stitt's a moron. Either way, it doesn't bode well for either one of those.
Right.
And at the end of the day, get your religion out of politics.
Absolutely.
And if you are this big religious guy, then show some compassion for the women in your state. But they don't.
No, they don't at all. All they want to talk about are cancel culture issues and throw that in people's faces to get them all riled up and fear mongering. And oh my gosh, all the kids are going to be transgender and boys are going to compete with girls in sports. It's like, none of that shit's even a problem. Like, shut the fuck up. Make policies that help your state's education. Make policies that feed children free school lunch. Make policies that help poor people.
These things don't matter. At all.
At all.
That is, it's a free country. And in a free country, people get to dress and identify however they want to. So the Republican Party right now is at a crossroads where their mantra used to be freedom. And we support the troops because they gave us the right to be free. But now they're saying, wait a minute. No. Freedom for me, but not for thee.
Right. Absolutely.
And so it's really a party right now, particularly in the state. And if people, across the country want to know what Trump policies look like to a nation, look no further than Oklahoma or some of these other red states. These policies hurt people. They hurt the economy. They hurt quality of life. And I mean, it brings me back to, I think they want to keep the general public poorly educated. I mean, Trump flexed about, I poll great with the poorly educated, crushing it.
I didn't know.
Yes. He bragged about it in 2016. I'm doing great with the poorly educated. And so
I wonder why.
They do not want an educated, active electorate, because when more people vote, democratic policies and freedom tends to win. The less people that vote, you have, the Electoral College dick over, and you have Republicans that win. And so that's the last thing they want, is an educated, robust, active general public. And so the Trump policies and Republican parties, the Trump policies and the Republican policies, when you look at them and what they do state by state, when they have a supermajority, it is not good.
No, not good for the people that live there, other than the upper socioeconomic rich people that pay less taxes. But everybody else.
White rich people.
White rich people.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us get this stuff off of our chest. From deep in the Bible Belt, we report IHIP news. It's not good. It's not good, people.
It's not good.
Subscribe to our channel and listen to our podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays.